You are not lazy. You just don't like the life you're living right now, and every time you sit down to do something that actually matters, your mind looks for a way out. Not because you're incapable, but because somewhere deep down, you've associated effort with discomfort. And discomfort is something you've learned to avoid. If you look at your day honestly, you'll start to notice a pattern. You wake up, and before your mind even fully wakes up, your hand reaches for your phone. Not because there's something important waiting for you, but because it's easier to scroll than to think. You scroll through content, messages, videos, distractions, anything that keeps you from sitting in silence with your own thoughts. And you tell yourself, you'll start in a few minutes. Just one more video, just one more scroll, just a little more time. But that little more time slowly turns into hours, and those hours quietly turn into days where nothing meaningful gets done. Not because you didn't have time, but because you never faced the moment where you had to begin. The truth is, this isn't laziness. Laziness would mean you simply don't care. But you do care. That's why it bothers you. That's why you feel guilty at night. That's why there's a constant voice in your head reminding you that you're capable of more. The real problem is that you're escaping from a version of your life that feels uncomfortable to face. There are things you know you should be doing, decisions you've been delaying, effort you've been avoiding. And every time you get close to confronting those things, your brain pulls you in the opposite direction. It offers you something easier, something immediate, something that doesn't require you to struggle. And that's where the trap begins. Because distraction feels harmless. It feels like a break. It feels like rest. But it's not. Real rest comes after effort. What you're doing is avoiding effort entirely. And over time, your brain starts to learn that avoiding is better than trying, that escaping is safer than engaging. So the cycle repeats. You feel pressure, so you distract yourself. You distract yourself, so you fall behind. You fall behind, so the pressure increases. And instead of facing it, you escape again. And every time you repeat this cycle, it becomes easier to run away and harder to stay. Eventually, you start telling yourself that you just need motivation, that one day you'll feel ready, that something will click and everything will change. But that moment never comes. Because motivation isn't what you're missing. What you're avoiding is responsibility. You already know what needs to be done. You're not confused. You're not lost. You're just unwilling to sit with the discomfort that comes with doing hard things consistently. And the more you avoid that discomfort, the more power it gains over you. What makes this even more dangerous is that the longer you stay in this pattern, the more it changes how you see yourself. You start believing that you're someone who can't stay consistent, someone who lacks discipline, someone who always starts but never finishes. And once that identity settles in, it becomes even harder to break out of it. But none of that is actually true. You're not lazy. You're just used to escaping. And the moment you stop escaping, things begin to shift. Not because life suddenly becomes easier, but because you finally start seeing things clearly. You realize what you've been avoiding. You realize how much time you've lost. And more importantly, you realize that nothing is going to change unless you do something differently. That's the part most people never reach. Because facing your life requires you to sit in discomfort without running away. It requires you to act even when you don't feel like it. It requires you to accept that progress is slow and results don't come instantly, and that's hard. But it's also the only way forward. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "I'll start tomorrow," pause for a second and ask yourself a simple question. Are you actually tired? Or are you just escaping again? Because the truth is, tomorrow isn't a solution. It's just another version of the same escape. And until you stop running from your life, you'll keep living the same day, over and over again.